Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dark Souls 2. We are still in the Earthen Peak right here, and I think we're gonna start things off by talking to Lucatiel for a little while. She, of course, is also on a journey very similar to us, and is, I think, gonna reveal a little bit more about her. For whatever reason, she apologizes. Of course, she's also very much, affected by this whole memory loss situation that I've probably been talking about for not only that last episode, but also previously. It kind of seems to happen to everybody, that they kind of get lost and don't remember why they came to Drangleic in the first place. Very similar to us, actually, which is kind of funny, because, I mean, you go here to lift the curse, to find some kind of cure, and now you're caught up in this weird monarch thing. You have to kill monsters and get to Vendrick, and kind of people refer to you as the next monarch, stuff like that. It's kind of strange, and I mean, it's very funny actually that they really make you forget about all that kind of stuff, right? You don't really know what your objective is. You're just caught up in this world again. Like you always happen to be in these Souls games, and that's kind of a funny thing to realize, I would say. Now, she tells us that she actually has a brother, and I don't remember if she reveals anything else about him. No, not it doesn't seem like it, at least not right now. And I do want to be honest, I don't think, I mean, there's nothing like I don't think about it. We are not gonna complete that whole side quest with Lucatiel, because what you actually have to do, I don't know if I ever stressed this, probably not, in order for her to show up at all the locations so that you absolutely can then finish her side quest, you have to have her be a summon for a lot of boss fights. So, for example, also the Lost Samurai, I forget which one it is, and then also, which ones are there? Let me think about this real quick. Definitely the Sinner, and then in addition to that, I believe, oh my god, I can't think of it at the top of my head right now. It sucks so much. A lot of people, of course, are out there right now. It's that one fight. It's that one fight, you ding dong. I'll come up with what other fight that is. But for now, for the time being, the reason why I'm heading back is I want to check out this poisonous pit down here, because I did say last time that I've never actually checked it out, and that, of course, is something I would like to do, just to see what's inside, explore a little bit, because in the end, that's what we're here for, exploring the game, seeing what it's all about, and how it presents its story, stuff like that. Right, there should be one last guy. Should be able to, oh, maybe not even circle strafe all that much. That was a good dodge, if I do say so myself. Okay, that's good then. Old Mundane Stone is, I believe, also an upgrading item, yeah, or at least an item connected to upgrading, something like that. Right. So I forgot to rest at the bonfire, which sucks dramatically, because I actually just wanted to finish this guy off real quick. Maybe using the hexing urns, I can still do that. Of course, they're not too effective against these guys, though, which sucks a great deal. There's also items that restore your item use, but I don't remember what those are. Restore spell uses. I don't know. I guess we might make use of that for a second here, just to get some additional lightning spears out of this. Give us back 5. That is good. At least, I mean, oh fuck, and I took another one. I'm such a dumbass. From time to time, at least. God damn it. Well, doesn't matter too much. It's not like I ever really make use of these items anyway, so I might as well do it right now. So yeah, let's kill him, and let's now jump down there and explore that section of the game that I've never even fucking had to deal with before, so this should be fairly exciting now, shouldn't it? But yeah, do very quickly touch on that Lucatiel thing for like the last time, I guess. We kind of missed out on the opportunity of having her story completed for this playthrough. It's that you have to have her be part of those boss fights, and she also, and that's the bad thing about it too, she has to actually survive those fights. If she dies and you kill the boss, it doesn't count, and I believe you have to have her survive 3 out of 4 fights that you can't summon her for. So that's just a big fucking, that's a dick move, if you ask me. I don't really like that they do it that way. I mean, it certainly adds some kind of challenge, you could say, but I still would have preferred just having her story. What the fuck? Where am I even right now? I have literally no idea what I'm doing right now. That is so insane. Let's just get out of here. Because I'm actually also almost dying to the poisoning. So there might have been something else in there, but I got really turned around. That was very confusing. Yeah, no real need to deal with that right now. Let's just go back and then carry on with Earthen Peak. Awesome. Alright. Well, I don't know if that was worth it. I didn't pay too much attention to the items that I picked up down there. There might have been some Titanite shards, stuff like that, which certainly is always nice to see. And another thing that I should probably mention right here while we're at it, in the Covetous Demon boss fight, what you can also do is shoot down these barrels, or whatever you want to call them, I guess more like urn kind of things. And contained within are actually just bodies that then the Covetous Demon is going to try to chew up. So you have a nice distraction if you shoot those down, and that's usually a good idea. I would certainly recommend that if you have something to destroy these things with. Of course, you need either heavy bolts or throwing knives, but I don't think you're going to be hitting those with throwing knives. So basically, either heavy bolts or iron arrows should probably also work. Now, the area that we're entering now, which I would just call like the main part of Earthen Peak, for the lack of a better term, I guess, we are going to be dealing with these Mannequins. A very... oh my god, I don't even want to be doing that, actually. A very, like, quick enemy. They attack fast and jump around a lot. They're just not necessarily the most fun to be had in Dark Souls. Oh my god, I didn't mean to pick that up that early. Alright, come on, get back up. Now let's finish this guy off. He's caused enough trouble already. Why have him around much longer? But yeah, those guys are around now, the Mannequins. They're alright. They shouldn't be too big of an issue, although they can combo you quite dramatically, so we certainly want to be careful. And also they like to run around and block off like areas for you by like pulling a lever and lowering some kind of gate. And I believe that's also something that's gonna probably happen pretty soon here. But I would certainly say that I'm a big, yeah, maybe not big. Let's not put it that way. But I'm certainly a fan of Earthen Peak. It reminds me a lot of Sense Fortress, while it certainly isn't as awesome as Sense Fortress. Sense Fortress is, in my opinion, one of the best games in the Souls series, like hands down, all across the board. One of the best areas. But Earthen Peak is not that. It's just that it kind of reminds me of Sense Fortress in the sense that it's very much like indoor, lots of secrets for you to find. It's not as like trap-ridden as Sense Fortress is, but I don't know, certainly something to get some enjoyment out of. I don't believe you can make that jump. I just wanted to make sure that the guy over in that direction died. We might be able to hop down in a second, but I don't actually remember getting that item anytime soon. Yeah, these guys once again jumping around. There's going to be another one, so let's regain some stamina before we attack him. And yeah, it's probably an area we're gonna spend quite a decent amount of time in. There should be another guy right here, and he can actually, I think, run away from you and lock you out of an area, and then you have to work your way around and do stuff that way. But certainly one of the, yeah, as I was trying to say, one of the better areas of Dark Souls 2 I find, especially because there's also a neat little gimmick connected to it, a little secret that you, first of all, might not find out. And the way you would find out about this, and that is actually what I'm about to do right here, is by, I don't know, having a phantom help you out, and then that guy shows you off, or just messages on the ground saying like try torch, try fire, stuff like that. Because doing this, burning this windmill and basically deactivating it, helps you out a great deal. It kind of changes how this area behaves. All these gears are gonna stop spinning in a second, and well, that's not the cool part about it. Like, that's basically the lamest thing that it does. It will change how the boss fight behaves, and you absolutely, if you care about your life, wanna deactivate that that windmill over there. So there's a trap right here, but that's all the traps they are, I believe, unless you count like enemy positioning as a trap in and of themselves. But right here, not too big of an issue. And mannequin mask is actually an item I'm quite fond of, I would say. Certainly like using it from time to time. There's a guy right there. I should have known that. I do remember that. It's just that I didn't quite realize where I was for a second. Luckily, he didn't do too much damage though. So you can come over here. You will find a new NPC yet again, and he's I don't even know what to call him. I guess he's a human. He's just from a different area. Certainly has quite an accent, and is gonna be relatively useful for us because he's also one of those guys that travel back to Majula and then help you out over there. So he's basically now already going to introduce his main purpose right here. He can create ladders, and I'm basically just skipping over his dialogue a lot here because it's not very important. All you want to take away from this is that he actually makes ladders for you. He's like a ladder smith, which I didn't really know was a real thing prior to playing Dark Souls 2, but I guess it's fine. He, yeah, puts it there. It doesn't look safe if you ask me. It certainly does not, but we now have a way of climbing down the side right here. Let me talk to him again just to make sure that we exhaust his dialogue and absolutely make him move to Majula. Also sells a few things. I don't believe that it's anything important though. I mean, aromatic ooze is probably the best thing that he sells, but we can't use that with our current weapon. Ladder miniature is also not important, but a neat pickup later on. At least from what I heard. And yeah, he's also going to talk a little bit about this area, Earthen Peak, and its lore, especially the lore connected to the boss we're going to be challenging pretty soon. So,
and I thought only human women were so petty.
Right. So he's talking about how that next boss coming up is probably connected to poison. I mean, you probably were already able to guess that just by looking at this area and how poison heavy it is. But she apparently did something with the poison in order to keep up her beauty and health, and that certainly is something we will realize once we challenge her. I mean, I can already give that away, I guess. And then again, most of you probably have killed the boss before and totally know what I'm talking about already. So anyway, there's side areas for you to do right here. I don't really remember what this does. Oh, it might actually, yeah, it's gonna pull up this elevator over here. And I believe you want to come this way just because there's a fun little side thing for you to do. There's a much quicker way to like the end of this area, and you can once again, just by passing by some enemies and doing similar stuff to that, you can just very easily actually finish Earthen Peak once again in a matter of maybe minutes, not seconds this time around, but just minutes. But yeah, I'm absolutely gonna come this way and kill some guys and have them bash their shield into my skull. And those guys actually also called Grave Wardens. And let's find out. Alright, I think I am where I want to be. Yeah, totally. So this is Pate, as you might remember. That's now the second time we encountered him. First met him in the Forest of the Fallen Giants. He was sitting in front of that gate that then trapped us. And he's once again doing something, I guess not necessarily similar to that, but he once again says there's some treasure. I can't quite get to it. This door is locked. What the fuck? Potatoes. What's that all about? Can you help me, please? And I mean, well, we don't really like him. We've already established that. I'm absolutely going to try to get that treasure that he's talking about. Right. So let's kill this sorceress. Another new enemy in this area, using the lightning spears. Yeah, she's more like style over substance, I would say. Certainly can pack a punch if you get hit by her, but for the most part, if you stay at long range, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Right, and that is, I believe, already the treasure that we're supposed to find. So the treasure that Pate was talking about, great heavy soul arrow. Of course, it being a sorcery, we don't really care too much, but it's gonna be nice to have Pate realize that we're much better than him, so suck that one, Patches, you dick. And I believe he also gives us something for it, right? So he talks a little bit about Creighton. Of course, I did mention that they have this rivalry going on. They apparently want to kill each other, and they just don't appreciate of each other, not at all. It's very much like a rivalry, like I was saying, right? Do you? Okay, you won't give me anything. I did remember that differently, but maybe that's just me being weird at this point. So is there any point in going up here, though? I always get mixed up in this area. Absolutely will admit that. I never really remember how things connect, and it's not too big of a deal, though. I mean, it's not like it's really all that difficult of an area, like geography-wise. It's just hard to remember, but easy to pull off, I would say. Right, let's maybe like kill her, please. Thank you. This should be another trap, but also one I can certainly avoid. All right. This is actually now, I believe, the first time that we get the white trap. So the crossbow bolt trap kind of thing. Is there like, this almost looks like there would be, like illusory walls around. I guess not, though. Anyway, that sure did a lot of damage. More than I wanted it to, at the very least. And now let's just bum rush her, maybe even two-handed. And that was a freaking frame drop if I ever saw one. Alright. Okay, Dragon Charm, I believe something... You know what? I don't even know what it is, to be completely honest. So let's not talk out of my ass. Cures poison and greatly restores HP. Will be honest right here, have never used that once. So you can jump across, hopefully not get poisoned, very much like I did. That is good to see. And is there anything else? There apparently is a chest on the other side. That is very interesting. I don't even remember if I've ever picked that up. But we're now looping back around, going down here. That's where the trap was. That's also where the bonfire is. So why don't we jump down and explore for a little while? Because I don't remember ever picking up that chest over in that direction. That's another mannequin. Let's dispose of him rather quickly. Right, and also, liar ahead? What are you talking about? What do you mean, liar ahead? I don't see no liar around. Anyway, let's whip out some throwing knives. The reason I want to equip those is that there's a bunch of barrels, or once again, urns, or whatever you want to call these, to destroy. And that is actually going to lead us back to the elevator. And then I believe I already know how to get that chest that we saw. Is that the lever that I want to use for that? Or is there like another one? I really don't know at this stage. I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't really remember how this is supposed to work. Maybe I've never even picked this whole thing up. But we want to get up to that. It might ascend too quickly for us, right? That's what I'm thinking. But maybe if we run really quickly. Oh, it totally does work. So please don't crush me like a Sense Fortress would. Maybe it was too much crushing that it did. Much rather just like spiking me up. But okay, it totally doesn't. Are you a mimic? You're not a mimic. We haven't seen a mimic yet. I don't know when you actually run into the first one. But they certainly use them much, much less. Now let's be careful about dropping down here because that could easily kill us. Maybe we're actually just gonna... Oh, we can't jump over that. That sucks so much. I should have been quicker about this. Could easily die here, which upsets me. Is there anything I can do in order to kind of counteract that? Well, doesn't look like it. Right. It's just okay. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I remember parts of the game where I would just drop down what was seemingly not the greatest height and still dying. So I'm always now very, very wary when it comes to that. Just don't want to drop down without thinking about it at least 2 or 3 times. But as you can see, we're now back here. So that was all what we did now was just another side area. Is there? That looks like an illusory wall. It totally is. Oh my god. Alright. Oh well, I also have not done this in a good while then. I'm actually poisoned. That sucks a great deal. Spell Quartz ring, I believe, is a ring that just helps you out with poison resistance. So that is, I believe, good to have. Not like we're gonna really use it anytime soon, but there's at least a few bosses that I can think of where it should be very, very helpful. Now, we don't really have to attack these guys too much. Instead, just destroy the poisonous thingies so they can get poisoned and then die. Very easy. And certainly something that we can do with our lightning spears, because those apparently are like the best thing ever. Really, really helping us out. I mean, I do feel the need to stress that very, very much right here. Those lightning spears, it's the first time I'm using them in a playthrough. But really just, god damn it, those things are so useful. Just to think back real quick to that last, oh, not even last boss fight that we did, but the Skeleton Lord's boss fight, so helpful. Alright, and he's totally right. The message, I mean, there's going to be a phantom. Not even like really invading us. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Let's get out. I don't remember that being that difficult. When I first did this area, I had a phantom help me out, as a matter of fact. God damn it, that actually sucks a great deal. That deals so much damage and just works around my shield like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, as I was trying to say, when I first did this area, very much had a phantom help me out. So he probably just took care of him the first time around, and that's why I don't remember him being that difficult. You fucking asshole. And then the second time through, of course, would have been like the New Game Plus that I did. And yeah, then you're maybe a little too like powerful to really have him make an impact on you. Jesus, you person. I also don't remember him doing that, apparently. Let's just combo him to death. Not too big of an issue, I wouldn't think. Right. There we go. Fair enough. Let's go up here. There's going to be one last bonfire in this area. and then we should be able to fight the next boss, which of course is kind of nice. And the bonfire, I believe, is going to be up here somewhere. But there's 2 illusory walls, and the bonfire should be behind this one. Let's check out what the other one features, though. A chest. What are you? Are you a mimic? No. I'm so paranoid when it comes to these things, and that's so Dark Souls 1's fault. It's almost not even funny. But okay. We need to be very careful. I don't want to rest at the bonfire, just because that actually, I think, causes more trouble than it really ends up helping you out. Just because then the enemies are, of course, all going to be back, and that sucks a great deal. It really, really does. There's like a shit ton of these guys in here, by the way. So certainly want to be careful about that. And also not get poisoned myself like I just did. Probably just going to counteract that with a life gem, since I don't seem to have many more of these poison mosses. As a matter of fact, probably don't have a single one, if I were to take a guess. But yeah, just counteract that. It's really neat that you can use those items that way. And it's also pretty neat that since we were poisoned, that cloud didn't do jack shit. So suck on that one, you weird bug creature looking things. And wow, that's actually going to be the first mimic for us. That is quite fascinating. They behave very differently in Dark Souls 2, but still very easy for us to take care of them in that situation. And that basically answers a question that I had already a few episodes ago, where I was wondering whether there was actually like wooden chest mimics in the game. Totally are, apparently. So that's really interesting. There's now 2 more, maybe even 3 more, actually, right here for us to fight. Let's just attack them a bunch, and hopefully not have them attack us too much. Right. Want to be careful though, because they can combo you quite badly, and they apparently also do have something, oh my god, added to their weapon, like an additional type of damage. But while I did terribly against these guys, at least we are still alive. And it's not like we need too many Estus flasks for that upcoming boss fight anyway. Certainly nice to have some, but since we can spawn this guy over here, the absolutely best phantom, or at least NPC phantom, in the game, he's going to help out a great deal. We are probably not going to use too many healing items inside, and even if life gems totally should do. So say hi to Jester Thomas, and we're literally going to say hi like this. Ayo. He is basically your little jackbox. Like it's like From Software before entering this fight are giving you like this little checkbox, and you're asked whether you want to win this fight or not. And by summoning Jester Thomas, it's basically saying, yep, you are absolutely going to win that fight. Don't worry about anything. He's got you covered. He's going to destroy that lady using the Estus flasks. So there's not even a really... There's not really a need to even attack her. And as a matter of fact, my freaking thing seems to be breaking. I might be able to just switch it out. Because this fight is just that easy with Jester Thomas. He's standing in the poison a lot though, I will say that, so he might end up dying in the long run. Probably would be a better decision to not stand inside there too much. And that would then, as a matter of fact, be the first time that he dies. Oh my god. At least from what I've seen, I don't think that he dies very, very often. But, you know what? No issue whatsoever. He did end up surviving and also wrecked the shit out of Mitha right there. And that's really good. I would certainly recommend summoning him. I mean, it's not like... Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of... It's debatable whether that's cool that he helps you out so much. Because in the end, as I was saying, it's just a checkbox. Do you want to win that fight? Yes, please. thank you very much. And certainly could argue that this is the cheap way out, but I like having Jester take care of things, at least for once. I mean, for the most part, I'm fighting the monsters myself. It's just that it's sometimes nice to have somebody else take care of things like that. So using this elevator over here, we're gonna enter the last part of this path, the last area that is also then going to contain the next great soul that we are going to embrace. And very unlike Sinner's Rise, this is a more fully featured area. Still not one of the longest areas of the game, but at least offers some nice exploration for you, and also a pretty important item connected to that blacksmith over in the Lost Bastille. So Macduff, or whatever his name is, he's then very soon going to be able to craft some more amazing weapons for you by using a new ember, and the Iron Keep right here has said ember. So aesthetically, a really cool area. Gameplay wise, a rather standard area, but maybe one of my favorites, I would say, just because it looks rather nice and also kind of changes things a little bit, the way you have to handle them. So let's rest at the bonfire right here, and we're not going to tackle any of the Iron Keep in this episode. Instead, what we're going to do absolutely is go back to Majula and take care of a few side things, once again some maintenance, and see how we can change our character right here with the souls that we have. So picking up that ember, actually probably in that next episode if I were to guess, we are then going to be able to switch to a different weapon. I would certainly like to do that. I'm in between episodes going to look up which one I'm going to choose. I'm very much tending towards like a dex weapon, and that I believe we're then going to infuse with some lightning as well, because that scales with faith, and since we're kind of going for a faith build at least to some extent, certainly something we should end up doing, yeah. So let's give her the very next Estus Flask Shard. Leveling up our Estus to, I don't even know what, to be completely honest. Yeah, 7 is what we now have. Is it even? Or let's rest at the bonfire and see. No, totally is. Alright, that's good to know then. 7 Estus is what we got. Certainly could have more at this point, I believe. But then again, we've only been down like 2 paths, or like 1.5, if you will. But she, of course, is back right here. Let's talk to her. She doesn't sell much more, I don't think. No, actually doesn't. But as we keep killing like great bosses, or like at least retrieving the great souls, I don't think calling them great bosses is a very good way of describing those guys. It just sounds stupid. But certainly doing that is going to then give you a lot of cool things, or gonna give her a lot of things, which then in turn you can buy. So that isn't, I mean, not the most convenient way of doing things, but at least very functional. So let's switch back to our usual sword, the Haida Knight Sword. It's +5. See, I mean, it probably would be a good idea to upgrade it a little bit more, just to get some additional damage for these upcoming areas. But then again, since I'm probably switching weapons sometime soon, let's not get invested in that too much, at least not yet. So, Gilligan, as I believe he's called, of course, is right here, right now, since we talked to him at Earthen Peak. And that is very good for you, because we can now make him craft ladders for this pit right here. That's not the only way of getting down here, though. You can also very much buy a ring at a NPC that, surprisingly, we have not even spoken to once in this playthrough. Shelqua over here, a cat lady. She can also give you a ring that reduces falling damage, and then you can hop down there that way. But we're not doing that anytime soon. Instead, let's talk again to Malin over here. As you can see, he kind of moved spots. Previously he was sitting on the ground, now he's sitting on the chair, and that basically indicates that he is selling more items and is basically entered the second phase of his whole story curve or whatever you want to call that. He also ends up selling a lot of these boss armor sets. So for example, this is the one for the Sinner, the Lost Sinner. So as a matter of fact, it is lost. And we should probably buy some things from him while we have the souls necessary. So why don't we just buy the mask? I'm actually a big fan of the mask. I really like it. Also raises equipment load apparently, which is very good. Is there then anything else for me to buy? I mean, I might as well just buy some random things here. You once again have to get over a certain amount of souls for him to then upgrade to his last stage. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. But with the penal mask being like 7,000, I believe we already have done that, have moved on to the next phase. So why don't we equip that mask actually? I really like it. And also it's going to be like a straight up upgrade to what we're currently rocking. And yeah, it just makes me look like a psycho, and that's like the kind of style that I like to go for in the Souls games. I always like to rock like rather slim outfits and then just this mask. For example, in Dark Souls 1 it was always the Mask of the Father. And this is basically, yeah, this has basically taken over here in Dark Souls 2, this mask that I'm currently wearing. So let's go pay, what's his name even, Kale, a visit. Did I not even make him advance? And that is so strange. That actually is very strange to me, because I could have sworn that I did everything I had to do in order to get him here. Usually all you gotta do is kill the skeleton down here and also defeat the last giant, and then Kale should move on. But maybe I didn't exhaust his dialogue enough. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. He only talks a little bit about, I believe, both Pate and Creighton. So it gives you some more information on that. So it's not necessarily all that important that we unlocked him. But as you can see, there's another flame that lit up over in this direction. That should be the Lost Sinner, if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think I am. Alright, so the last thing we probably want to take care of is checking whether I have any sublime bone dust to burn at the bonfire. And then also leveling up is certainly something we would like to do. So let's see about that. First of all, check the bone dust. Doesn't seem to be the case. Nope. So now, using the rest of our souls, we're just going to level up a little bit. And then also already end the episode. So today we took care of the Earthen Peak and defeated yet another boss. Also took care of some side things, got some NPCs over to Majula, and of course those are going to help us out a great deal in the future. So what do we even want to level up right here? Probably just want to get both of these to 20 if I were to take a guess. That is probably the most important thing to be doing right now. Other than that, though, I mean, we could level some adaptability and also some additional faith, but maybe faith is something we're going to do once we are fine with everything else, so that we can then get some additional damage out of the lightning spears and stuff like that. For now, certainly upgrading our HP and endurance is going to be very useful. Right, there's one last thing I would like to do, because he actually also ends up giving you an item if you die enough. So I don't know, I'm just going to talk to him a little bit. It might not be available to us just yet, just because I really haven't died all that much, maybe like 3 or 4 times in this playthrough. So we'll come back to him at a later point in time, and he's then going to give a ring to us, actually. So that is all good enough, I guess. We've taken care of, yeah, mostly minor things in this episode, but also opened up the way to the very next area, and also once again one of those end of the path areas featuring another great soul. So we're gonna take care of exactly that in the next episode. Hopefully everybody's looking forward to it. I will be back with more Dark Souls 2, as you're probably already able to tell. Having a great time with this, honestly. Thank you so much for the support. I hope everybody is enjoying this series so far, and let's carry on with it, I guess. See you next time, guys. Have a good one.